Richard, I have to tell you about my weekend. I finally went to one of those huge outdoor music festivals my friend's been dragging to for years, and I'm honestly still a bit buzzing about it.
Wait, you went? You? The self-declared not a crowds person? Okay, now we're doing this. Talk to me about that festival, start to finish.
Okay, so paint me the scene. You show up, what's the first thing that hits you?
Honestly, the sheer scale of it. We got there pretty late in the afternoon, and by the time we arrived, the whole thing was already in full swing. Like 3 stages going at once, food stalls everywhere, people on every patch of grass. I just stood at the entrance for a second thinking, what have I walked into?
Hold on, quick flag. You said it was in full swing. That's so much sharper than it had already started. Examiners pick up on that kind of phrase instantly. Anyway, keep going. You're stuck at the entrance.
Right, so my friend immediately wanted to sprint to the main stage to catch some headliner, and I was the complete opposite. A bit overwhelmed, to be honest. I'm not really a crowds person, so my first instinct was to hang back.
So what did you do? Follow her or do your own thing?
I kind of compromised. I told her to go ahead, and I just wandered. I didn't want to chase any particular act. I genuinely just wanted to soak up the atmosphere first, get a feel for the place before committing to anything.
There, soak up the atmosphere. Love that. Most people would just say, I looked around, which is fine, but your phrase does so much more work. We'll come back to it. What happened on the wander?
So I'm drifting between stages, and I stumble onto this smaller tent, a band I'd literally never heard of. Some kind of mix of folk and electronic, really hard to describe. These days, the lineups are so eclectic, you trip over genres you'd never normally listen to.
And, be honest, did you stop or were you just passing through?
I'd say, I meant to just pass through. That was the plan. But the crowd in there was so into it. Everyone's singing back lines I didn't even know, and there's just something about that kind of energy.
So the not a crowds person stayed.
Completely. And honestly, that's the thing about a crowd like that. You just get swept up in it. Before I knew it, I was singing along to a band I couldn't even name, with total strangers, arms in the air, the whole thing. Half an hour earlier, I'd been standing at the gate wanting to leave, and suddenly, I didn't want it to end.
Okay, I have to stop you. You just get swept up in it. That is exactly what I'd want on a Band 7 answer. It's doing way more than I became excited too. Hold that thought, we'll unpack it properly. Then what?
Then I'd actually went and found my friend, which she found hilarious, me, the reluctant one, suddenly dragging her to the next thing.
Ha! The convert. So, out of the whole weekend, was there one moment that really stands out?
Easily. There was this one set right at dusk, the sun going down behind the stage, the lights just coming on, thousands of people completely silent for the slow song, and then losing it for the next one. That was the highlight of the whole weekend for me. I still get a bit of a chill just thinking about it.
The highlight of the whole weekend. Perfect. That one phrase tells the examiner you're singling out a peak moment instead of saying everything was great. Small move, big effect. We'll dig in later. Sorry, go on.
That's kind of it, really. I went in a complete skeptic and came out already looking at next year's tickets.
A warm, friendly British-English host in his late 30s, a favourite teacher chatting with a student. Okay, but here's my real question. You mentioned everyone filming. Did that ever pull you out of it? Did the phones ruin the moment at all?
That's a good question. A little, yeah. During that dusk set, I noticed half the crowd was watching it through their screens, and part of me wanted to tell them to just look up. But then I filmed a bit of it too, so who am I to judge, really?
Right, so where do you actually land on it? Does filming save the memory or steal the moment?
I'd say a little is fine. I'm glad I've got 10 seconds of that sunset.
but there's a tipping point where you're so busy capturing it that you forget to actually be there. So I tried to keep the phone in my pocket for the songs that really mattered.
Nice, that's a genuinely mature take. Capture a sliver, live the rest.
Yeah, and weirdly, the bits I didn't film are the ones I remember most clearly. Make of that what you will.
Honestly, that might be the best argument for going phone-free I've heard all year. Okay, that was a great chat. Let me pull a few of those phrases into the workshop part, because there's real gold in there. All right, nice work there, Gia. Before we wrap up, let's go back and look at a few of the expressions you used. I want you to really lock these in.
Yes, please. I'd love to get these down properly.
First one, in full swing. Gia, if I just say a festival was in full swing, what picture does that give you?
I'd picture it already going at full energy, like everything's happening at once, not just getting started.
Exactly right. It's that peak activity moment. The event is fully underway, buzzing, nothing winding up or winding down.
Got it. So I couldn't really use it for something that's only just beginning, could I?
No, and that's the key boundary. In full swing is the middle, the peak, never the start. Save it for when things are already roaring.
That makes sense, and I actually used it without thinking, which surprised me a little.
You did. You said, quote, by the time we arrived, the whole thing was already in full swing. That already plus in full swing is a lovely pairing.
Yeah, it just came out. I think I've heard it so many times that it finally stuck.
That's the goal. Here's the lift. Most candidates say it had already started, which is flat. In full swing signals energy and scale in 3 words. Examiners hear range straight away.
So let me lock it in properly. By the time we got there, the party was in full swing.
Perfect. That's yours now. On to the next. Next, soak up the atmosphere. What do you think soak up is doing in that phrase, Gia?
Like absorbing it? Taking it all in slowly rather than rushing around trying to do things?
Exactly. Soak up is that image of a sponge taking in water. You're letting the mood of a place sink into you on purpose.
Oh, I like that image. So it's more about being present than actually doing anything specific.
Precisely. It's the opposite of ticking off a checklist. And you used it naturally. You said you just wanted to soak up the atmosphere first.
Yeah, that was exactly the feeling. I didn't want to chase anything, just stand there and take the place in.
And that's the band lift. Most people say, I looked around or I enjoyed it, which tells the examiner nothing. This phrase shows sensory awareness and intention.
Right. So one phrase signals I was actually experiencing it, not just standing there. That's a nice shortcut.
One thing to watch, it pairs with places and events, not with tasks. You soak up the atmosphere of a market, not of an exam. Keep it for mood-rich settings.
Good to know. Let me try the full one. We didn't rush anywhere. We just wanted to soak up the atmosphere.
That's it, exactly. Banked. Now the fun one. Get swept up in it. Gia, what's the feeling behind that phrase?
It feels like being carried along, like the energy takes over and you don't really decide to join in, you just do.
That's it, exactly. There's no conscious choice. The moment pulls you along, almost against your nature, which is perfect for your story.
Right, because I really wasn't planning to join in, and then suddenly I was completely in it with everyone.
And you phrased it beautifully. You said, quote, you just get swept up in it. That little just makes it sound effortless and honest.
Yeah, just felt important. It wasn't a decision, it sort of happened to me, if that makes sense.
It makes total sense, and that's the charm of the idiom. Here's the lift. Most candidates say, I became excited too, which is flat and a bit childlike. This is vivid and self-aware.
So it shows the examiner I can describe an emotion taking over, not just name it. That's a real upgrade for storytelling.
Exactly. And one tip, it usually needs that in it or in the moment to feel complete. Don't leave it hanging as just swept up.
Noted. Let me bank the clean version. I hadn't planned to stay, but I just got swept up in it.
Perfect, Rep. That one's going to serve you well.
Last one, the highlight of. Simple on the surface. Gia, why is it stronger than just the best part?
I guess highlight sounds more vivid, like it's the one moment that really shone out of everything else.
Exactly. Highlight carries that sense of one peak lifting above the rest. It frames a single moment against the whole experience.
So it's not just ranking things, it's pointing a spotlight at the one moment that mattered most.
Beautifully put. And you used it cleanly. That was the highlight of the whole weekend. The of the whole weekend is what gives it scope.
Yeah, I wanted to show that out of 2 full days, this one set was the thing I'd actually remember.
And that's the band signal. Weaker answers list everything as equally great. The highlight of forces focus. It tells the examiner you can prioritize and shape an answer.
That's helpful. So picking one highlight actually makes the whole story sound more controlled and deliberate.
Exactly. One tip, always attach it to the bigger thing, the highlight of the day, of the trip, of the year. That contrast is where the power is.
Got it. Final rep, that set at dusk was easily the highlight of the whole trip.
Spot on. 4 phrases, all yours now. That's the workshop done.
Completely. And honestly, that's the thing about a crowd like that. You just get swept up in it. Before I knew it, I was singing along to a band I couldn't even name, with total strangers, arms in the air, the whole thing. Half an hour earlier, I'd been standing at the gate wanting to leave, and suddenly, I didn't want it to end. Completely. And honestly, that's the thing about a crowd like that. You just get swept up in it. Before I knew it, I was singing along to a band I couldn't even name, with total strangers, arms in the air, the whole thing. Half an hour earlier, I'd been standing at the gate wanting to leave, and suddenly, I didn't want it to end.